Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Kathleen, and today's video I wanted to share with you guys some books that are leaving my shelves. So let's go ahead and get started. So there are quite a few reasons as to why I'm getting rid of these books. One of the reasons is that I have multiple copies of certain books that I certainly don't need that many copies. And another reason is that some of these books I have read and I just didn't like it, or I liked it but not enough to keep them on my shelves. And a third reason is some of these books have been on my shelves for quite a few years now and I just have absolutely no interest in reading. So I am gonna go ahead and donate all of these books to my local thrift store. Alright, so the first few books that I'm getting rid of are actually extra copies that I have of some of my favorite Sarah Dessen books. So the first book that I'm getting rid of is Along for the Ride by Sarah Dessen. It is a hardcover book, and I know that sounds totally lame, but Sarah Dessen is one of my favorite authors of all time. I love all of her books, so I pretty much buy all of Sarah Dessen books in paperback. And then the next Sarah Dessen book that I have that I am getting rid of is Keeping the Moon. This is actually my favorite Sarah Dessen story, but as you can see, some of the pages are getting bent. I've had this copy for many years. Look at how beautiful this cover is compared to this one. So the next copy that I'm getting rid of that is also by Sarah Dessen is Just Listen. I absolutely love the story. It's a beautiful story, and this is the new cover for Just Listen, and look how much prettier it is. I definitely preferred this cover to this one. And the next book by Sarah Dessen that I'm also getting rid of is Lock and Key. I actually really like this cover, but look how much prettier this one is. And the next book that I'm getting rid of by Sarah Dessen is The Truth About Forever. I actually really love this cover. I actually like it much better than the newer cover. However, as you can see, it's beat up. There's stains all over, and the spine is broken, which just breaks my heart. And the final book by Sarah Dessen that I'm getting rid of is Someone Like You, and I actually don't have a newer copy of this book, but I am planning on buying it very soon because I do want to have all the new pretty covers by Sarah Dessen. But alright, moving on from Sarah Dessen, these next 4 books are also books that I bought brand new copies of. Books that I'm talking about is The Ugly series by Scott Westerfeld. I bought this book secondhand many years ago, but I absolutely love these books. I think they're great, and I bought the new covers because I actually some people didn't like these covers, but I actually really enjoyed this cover. I'm also getting rid of Pretties, of course, and here is the new cover for Pretties. I'm also getting rid of Specials, and as you can see, and it's a completely different edition from the previous 2 books I just showed you, but here is the book that I have that matches the other covers. And finally, the last book by Scott Westerfeld in the Ugly series that I have that I'm getting rid of is Extras, and as you can see, this is a hardcover, and so of course I did buy the matching new edition ones. So the next books that I have to show you are books that I did read. Some of these books I did enjoy, but not enough to keep them, and other books I just don't ever want to see them in front of me ever again. So the first 2 books is Party Games and Don't Stay Up Late by R.L. Stine. I love R.L. Stine. I talked about him before in a previous video. He was one of those authors that I read so much of when I was a kid. I really enjoyed these books, but not enough to keep them on my shelves. I only read these because I was feeling nostalgic and I wanted to read something by R.L. Stine. The next book that I have is All We Have Is Now by Lisa Schroeder. I read this book a few months ago, and while I did like most of the book, I hated the ending. And the other book that I am getting rid of is The Truth About Alice. I really enjoyed this book, but the ending was very rushed. I felt like there was no ending. It just kind of ruined the book for me, and I didn't like it enough to keep it. The next book that I'm getting rid of is a book that I read a long time ago. I read back in high school, and a lot of people love this book. I am probably one of the very few people who actually did not like it, and it is 13 Reasons Why by Jay Asher. I know that's an unpopular opinion. A lot of people like this book. I just personally didn't, and I didn't understand why everybody was praising this book. The next 3 books that I'm getting rid of is a complete series, and you guys guys know how I feel about this book. I actually did a full spoiler-free review on this series, and it is the Testing Trilogy by Joelle Charbonneau. We have the Testing, Independent Study, and Graduation Day. I just did not like this book series. So the next 4 books that I'm getting rid of are books that I read a lot. I reread these books so much, especially in middle school and high school. I really loved these books, but I haven't touched them in years, so I want to go ahead and donate these. So the first book that I'm getting rid of is Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul on Love and Friendship. The next book that I read was Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul 4, and then the third book is the book that I probably read the most out of all of this, and it is Chicken Soup for the Teenage Soul on Tough Stuff. And the fourth book that I am also getting rid of, I'm donating it, is the Nobody's Perfect book. It is very similar to the Chicken Soup books, but it is all about your body and body shaming and loving your body and accepting your body for the way it looks like. Alright, and then the 3 books that I am getting rid of are books that I have not read. They are books that I actually have no plan in reading it. I just completely lost interest in these books. And the first book that I'm getting rid of is The Paladin Prophecy by Mark Frost and its sequel Alliance by Mark Frost. There is a third book. I believe this is a trilogy. I completely lost interest in this series. I have absolutely no intention of picking it up, so I don't see why I should keep it on my shelves taking up room. And then the other book that I'm getting rid of that I have not read is Project Cain by Geoffrey Gerard. I lost interest in this book. I have absolutely no intention of reading in the near future. I got this for really cheap from book outlets, so I don't feel bad about donating this. And then the next book that I'm getting rid of is a book that I attempted to read many times and I just couldn't get through it. It never caught my attention and I ended up DNFing the book. It's been on my shelves for many years and I just want to get rid of it. I don't want to see it anymore. And it is The Host by Stephenie Meyer. I actually talked about this book in my books I didn't finish video, which I'll link down below if you would like to check it out. I still have a bookmark in here. I got to page 133 and I never picked it up again. I attempted. And the final book that I'm getting rid of is a book series actually that I read many years ago, but it is a bind. I bought the bind up and I actually want to get new editions of this book because I really love this book series, and it is The Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. As you can see, it is the bind up and I don't like it, and as you can see, it's torn up and the pages are bent and the spine is broken, and seeing it just gives me chills. I don't like when my books are in this condition, so I am gonna go ahead and donate this and I'm gonna buy a better edition of this book. And alright guys, so there you are. Those are all of the books that I'm getting rid of. If I'm getting rid of a book that you really liked, I'm very sorry. Not all of these books obviously I'm not getting rid of because I hated them. Some of the books I really loved, and I hope that it makes another reader happy. So thank you so much for watching guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did and subscribe to my channel if you are not already. All of my social medias are linked down below if you would like to follow me anywhere else, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Have a good day guys and keep reading. Bye.